So here's the deal with Dynasty Warriors 9. It's awful. It is a terrible game. And I am so disappointed with it.
Curses!
There are certain things people have come to expect from each iteration of Dynasty Warriors. From new characters, changes to armor, unique gameplay mechanics, and a revision to all the levels we would expect with a chance of new ones as well. Following this dynamic, every title has added something fresh to the game. The first game was a fighting game similar to Tekken or Soul Calibur. It's crazy to think that the hack and slash game we know today that invented big scale battles was actually its sequel, number 2. Dynasty Warriors 2 was one of the PS2 launch games. It featured really small stages and missed many of the key battles that you would expect today. Those are added in the third game, as well as improvements to the music and horses being integrated, as well as an overall graphic improvement of the predecessor. This was the first game to really set the trend of every future game just being a general improvement over the other, with 1 or 2 minor features added. 4 being a good example of that. The Bodyguard System was implemented. You'd have a team of men that you'd basically have follow you around everywhere to keep you safe. Pretty fun feature. By the end of the game, your bodyguards would be about as strong as you, so it was kind of crazy having them around with you, especially since you'd have 8 of them. 4 also invented the cinematic cutscene. 5 took a unique approach and gave each character a fleshed out story that showcased some of their most important moments in their life.
I am Zhou Tai. I live to serve my lord Sun Ce with unwavering loyalty.
6, on the other hand, is always referred to as the dark horse of the franchise. Criticized for the dramatic revisions made to the already established characters, it took away character-specific weapons and even removed characters deemed unimportant from being involved or playable in the story. Characters involved in the game's Musou mode also suffered from these weapon changes. Xiahou Dun, arguably one of the most recognizable characters in the franchise, lost his scimitar in exchange for a club. People absolutely hated these changes, and 6 ended up being received quite poorly because of it. Honestly, to this day, I never thought I'd see a game fall as much as 6 did. And it's a little sad looking back on it because 6 was trying to re-inspire the series. It had the most money poured into it to get authentic martial artists and mocap all of their movements for most of the weapons used in the game. I mean, they did take time to do what they wanted, it just was received poorly. When 7 came out, I was reinvigorated to play Dynasty Warriors. I did every single thing in that game, got every achievement, and had a blast playing. It is a great game, and definitely pushed in the direction that 5 was trying to go to before 6 kind of took it off course. When 8 came out, I wasn't as impressed because most of the things in 8 were the same as 7. Graphics didn't really get enhanced too much. A lot of the characters stayed the same, like there was very minor changes altogether. Except for a lot of extra modes to play with, 8 didn't do a ton for the franchise, but it wasn't bad, just not as big of an impact, at least to me, as 7 was. So, after all this time, over the course of 8 Dynasty Warrior iterations, with several expansions of each title, so about 2 to 3 per, so again, we're looking at around 20-ish Dynasty Warriors games. This isn't even counting the Samurai Warriors franchise. What is the deal with 9? Dynasty Warriors 8 launched October 2012. It has effectively been 6 years since we've seen a Dynasty Warrior title. Now you would think 6 years apart would give the company time to take a breath of fresh air for the franchise, really allocate resources, strive to improve or alter the game beneficially, add mechanics that would revolutionize the series, maybe offer a new way for people that aren't so into the Dynasty Warriors franchise to kind of get a glimpse of why this title is so addicting and fun over all these years. I was really optimistic in the early stages of 9 because of this big gap. I mean, a 6-year break, any game's gotta be good. As time went on, rumors started spreading about the game being open world. Imagine the player would travel from Zuchong all the way to the Sun province to engage with the forces of Wu. In theory, that sounded really interesting. What an ambitious direction to take the series. As gameplay began being shown off, the game was starting to shape up nicely. Dynasty Warriors 9 could very well be the greatest game in the franchise yet. I was a fool to think that. The first thing you see and notice when you turn on Dynasty Warriors 9 is ugly. Everything in the game is a low resolution, bland nothingness. There is no character or style to anything you see in the environment. They're the most drab thing since Dynasty Warriors 2 graphically. From the trees to the bushes to some of the animals, everything you see is so low texture. It's appalling. Now I understand this is probably due to it being open world and there being no loading screens unless you are fast traveling, but like, come on, this is just absolutely disgusting to look at. Graphically speaking, the world isn't as open and connected as you may think either. You alone are given a quest. You then proceed to the location, aimlessly riding a horse through a dead, empty world, or you fast travel. Having the map as big as it is discourages any person to explore it. Naturally, you want to fast travel everywhere possible due to how boring the landscape is. When you're unable to fast travel, you are literally just riding your horse in a straight line with nothing around you. You might find like a random enemy patrol or like a wandering bear and things that you can pick up like herbs on the ground for resources and crafting. But who wants this in Dynasty Warriors? I hate getting on red hair and riding like 5 feet to kill the next officer, let alone getting on a crappy brown horse and riding for like 5 minutes to get to the next destination because I forgot to grab a fast travel point there. This brings up our next issue. The game is horribly disconnected. You are always alone.
He doesn't seem to have much of an aptitude for subtlety. I could hear him all the way down the road.
Never commanding armies or serving alongside one. Gone are the days of epic battles between opposing forces. Koei has completely embraced the idea of you picking a character and playing the game from start to finish alone. You ride your horse alone. You fight enemies alone. You have no army. I mean, imagine how crazy it is. You are the leader of Wei, you are South, and you have no army. It's just you. Aside from these cutscenes misleading you into thinking you have an army or some kind of ally,
Using this as an excuse, you and Chow and others raid the Imperial Palace.
you're flying solo this time. So the game is sectioned off into chapters across the different kingdoms. You get a character or two to pick from, and then for that chapter are completely locked in. You are not changing characters, you are not going to flip-flop over, you are the character you chose until you beat that chapter. Now if you want to play as a different character, you unlock them after you beat a chapter, so if you want, you can go back and replay the chapter again as one of the characters you would have preferred to have been in the first place. Instead of giving you 5 to 10 to 12 different officer choices you could be, which is realistic for how many characters are in the game, they give you like 2 or 1, and that's it. Have fun being the same character. Again, I could not play this game for longer than 3 acts of Wei, and I was Cao every single level, with no choice, basically. What the hell is that? We have had 20 games that explored the idea of including every character in a faction. Games that have given you full choice, and now reverted to an all-time low of pick one character. What a great idea. But what about the combat? Dynasty Warriors has been about combat for ages. I mean, regardless of being restricted character-wise and bored to death of the environment, is it fun to play? No. You press one button, or hold a button, while pressing that first one. And that's it. You'll see the same tried and true combo. Now granted, every character has their own unique moveset. And they all look different. And that's cool. But in about 1 minute of being that character, you'll have seen every single thing they can do, and that's it. That's all you're gonna do now, is fight with them. But the thing is if you put in Dynasty Warriors 4 or 5, you play that and it's fun to play still today. Like it doesn't really feel any different from how it was when it came out. The fun factor is there. But I was sick of playing 9 in about 10 minutes of fighting. Like, I don't want to fight when I play. I want to like just fast travel and avoid everything. And I find that because I'm having such a bad time with the game and the combat just did not help. What do you have left in a game if the combat is unenjoyable? Half of your game is story, and half of it, if not more than half, is fighting. Okay, gameplay. Your gameplay is bad. I do not want to play your game because the gameplay is boring. There's a problem there. Something that happened with 6 as well, where they focused on how flashy combat looked, but it made for a lackluster game. See, the way these games work best is in unison. If it has bad combat, but a good story, you can overlook that combat. This applies in numerous iterations. But Dynasty Warriors 9, I dislike in every regard. No designated battles, bland overworld, limited character representation. Maybe, just maybe, the game could have been salvaged by its iconic voice acting for the longtime actors who have been involved with the game since Dynasty Warriors 4.
Cao Cao.
Wait.
We received a message from Dong Zhuo. It seems he wishes to meet you.
What?
Of course, I'm not sure I trust him at all.
No.
It only makes sense that he wants to keep an eye on us. Our lord is old friends with Yuan Shao, and we all know how outspoken he can be.
No.
If Yuan Shao decides to sit back and watch, we'll lose the chance to make our move. We need to find a way to force his hand. As such, I feel now is the time for us to seize the opportunity that lies before us.
This can't be.
Huh. Finally, we're making our move. In that case, let us in on what you've got planned.
They cheaped out and got no-name talent to voice every character? What could possibly be redeemable in this entire mess of a game? Maybe. Yes, this is it. Watch as you break wind on your horse. Charging into battle. Ride, horseman! Ride, horseman, ride. The feeling of moving this fast, straight into battle, is awesome. One of the best ways to feel when playing this game. If I could have more moments like that, the game could have easily been redeemed. Riding full speed into combat can only be cool for so long though. This game can't succeed on just that alone. So looking back, what is the biggest problem with Dynasty Warriors 9? It tried to be too ambitious. It looked at like Skyrim and saw an open world and was like, you know, if we had an open world, maybe our game would sell as much or work out as well. But it didn't look at how Dynasty Warriors could exist in that environment. And to make up for these pauses of activity in the game, they added scripted crap. Go hunt and get material. Pick up herbs. Make armor. Get gold. To buy gear. Nobody likes these features. And they're all half-assed. Fishing's boring. Hunting's boring. Gathering herbs is tedious. Like, everyone just wants to go out there as their chosen avatar and just destroy people, getting like 1,000 kills and 2 hits, right? That's why they play Dynasty Warriors. And everyone was happy with just having another iteration that better enhances the gameplay and maybe tries 1 or 2 new things. But they took the beloved franchise and did a 180 to everything that you know in it. They changed the gameplay, they changed the environment, they made it an open world, they took away you being able to be every character, they made it a grind to get weapons, armor, horses, and all the things that you want to have fun with. This game sucks. And it makes me feel bad.
Curses!
And I hope that they can really look at this stuff, look at these bad reviews that people have given it, and really go back to the drawing board and put things right in 10. Again, 6 was kind of bad, and look at 7, it was great. So I'm really hoping they bounce back from this, and 10 is amazing. It goes back to the older style of things. So thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Demon Fox Yoko. I hate Dynasty Warriors 9, and the first step is admitting it. If you liked the video, please be sure to leave a like or subscribe to the channel if you want to see things similar to this. Thanks for watching.